They are, they are
It's recording
posted
now.
to Cache Community Development and my YouTube channel. So you can see past speakers from Tom, and we're getting Chris Hodges up from before, and Cornell Pewordy from the Comanche Nation, Numene, etc. So next, let's go to, I'm having trouble reading that. Is that Karen? Carol? Carol with a K, could you?
Yes, that's Carol. My name is Carol Ann Coffey. I'm a Comanche tribal member. I mainly came to hear the presentation from Mr. Tatanapa. We go back a long way. I'm here to support. And this is one of the, I think, if not the first, one of the first chamber meetings I've been to. And I really appreciate that you made it available for free via Zoom. I'm immune
Thank you.
compromised, so I'm not able to attend a lot of things in person.
Well, I believe in always trying to do Zoom because, again, we've had people, and probably we'll find out more, from all over. And ideally, we're all in this together to help our world. And none of us, like I always say in my business training, there's no self-made millionaires, right? We all have to work together. So thank you. And the next one, is that Chris Hodges? Or, sorry, there's a glare from the light up there.
It's Chris Howe.
Oh, you're
Chris
fine.
Howe.
Can you hear me?
Chris Howe. Let's
Don't
go
say
Chris
Howe.
Howe.
Chris. Oh, Chris Howe. Okay.
Hey, everybody. Yeah, there's a Chris Hodges and a Chris Howell, so you're doing fine. Chris Howell, also got David Howell here. I've got our owner, Don Givens, and Rosa Alarcon. We're sitting in from good old Oklahoma City.
Beautiful.
Glad to be here. Don is our owner. He's 100% Choctaw Muskogee Creek, and Ace Native Nations Service Solutions is our company, and we've been helping people for a long, long time, move, store, logistics, warehousing, different things like that. We sell over 1,000 lines of new furniture, educational, playground, medical, office, everything. So Tom and Shannon, we may need to visit with you guys, and as you start building out a project, you know, we may be able to partner up with you, but we're glad to be here.
Happy to do so.
Oh, good. We'll reach out to you. Appreciate that.
Thank you for joining us, everybody, and please keep in touch with me as well with everything we're doing, and everybody here, really. So next we have Chris Hodges, the man, the myth, the legend. He's our vice president of the Southwest Chamber and the provider of our goodies today. Thank you very much, sir.
Good afternoon, you guys. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Oh, I think I recognize about everybody in there. I haven't seen George for about 6 months. Hello, George. Bob. My name is Chris Hodges. I'm with Dawson Fiber, and I'm one of the enterprise reps. And I primarily focus on the tribes of Oklahoma. As I think most of you are aware, we do a tremendous amount of the tribes. And I also work on a lot of large city and county applications. And sorry about not being there. I got a call from one of the tribal directors for another tribe that put a lot of pressure on me to get some stuff done for him. So I decided to stay at my home office and join in on Zoom. Nice to see all you guys.
Thank you. And then next.
Yeah. I wish I had Jimmy Jones.
Huh?
I wish I had some Jimmy Jones. Bob, save me some of yours.
Too late.
Okay.
So
Cindy's next.
Cindy, please, briefly.
Hi, everyone. My name's Cindy Chambers. I'm with IBC Bank. I work out of the Miami, Oklahoma branch. We have 9 tribes here, and we work very closely with them, and I'm also Cherokee.
Great. And from which Cherokee Nation, just so we can recognize everyone, there's more than one. Tahlequah or,
Out of Tahlequah, yes.
okay, thank you. Chuck Hodgkins is doing an awesome job up there. I've been honored to work with him and Joe and others, so we'll continue on with all of that. So next is Edith. Edith Baker.
Hello, everyone. Hi, George. I'm actually on the road. I'm in Arizona right now, coming back from the RES conference. So I am going to just listen in. I'm a consultant. I have Native Business Consulting, and I do workforce and economic development across Indian country. So I'm excited to have something interesting to listen to while I drive through Arizona.
Love it. Well, be safe and keep an eye open for any of those Arizona flash floods.
Well, you know what? I drove into Navajo Nation on the way out and immediately had a flat tire. So I think that's that bad juju. But other than that, I've had a great trip.
Did you go by one of their casinos? That might be what happened.
Well, you know what? I've been
Just kidding.
stopping. No, I've been stopping at all the tribal gas stations. I just paid over $7 a gallon for gas.
Whew. Bless.
Yes.
All right.
So I'm ready to get back to Oklahoma.
Well, it's getting higher here too. All right, next we have Marcia Nibbs. Marcia Nibbs. Marcia Nibbs, you're muted. If you could unmute. I'll go to the next one. Sam, we'll come back to you, Marcia. Sam Rowe.
Yes, I'm Sam Rao. I'm a CPA. I work for Finley and Cook. We're out of Shawnee, Oklahoma, tribes and casinos. We're 40% Native American.
I'm sorry, the last part?
We're 40% Native American owned.
Okay, great. And which tribal representation from your nation?
Well, we've got two managers that I think are both Choctaw, and I'm actually Cherokee.
Okay, great. Out of Tahlequah?
Yes.
Great. So I know your firm is working with our Caddo Nation, so thank you. Next, we'll go to Sylvia. Sylvia Smith, sorry, my eyes. It's moving around a little bit. Is that right? Sylvia Smith, I believe you're, other than Marcia, well, then we would have heard of everyone. Go ahead, Sylvia.
Yeah. Are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
No, I'm sorry. I can't. I'm not here. I'm not.
Okay. Well, you're welcome
Are you
to
there?
be. We're here. We could hear you.
Okay. I'm sorry. I don't know what button I pushed. I was just zooming in to take part in what's going on. I really don't know what to say. I'm Comanche. I didn't mean to be on the board. I don't know how I got there. George, I wanted to hear what you had to say today.
We all do.
But I live in Shawnee, Oklahoma. I have
Okay.
real estate here. Maybe we'll head back home one of these years. You have some Dawes Act land there too. So anyway, that's all I have to say. I'm all ears from this point. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And then, so if I missed anybody, just unmute yourself and please introduce yourself. Everyone. And then I also want to thank the Fort Sill Chamber for the use of the facility. We're members, but still. And then Randy, our IT gentleman, which is, looks like he works for Arnold Schwarzenegger, big old brawny guy. So next, let's go around the table. And why don't we start with Amanda? Ladies first. So there you go.
Amanda Bay. I work at Liberty National Bank, do the treasury management there. And we support our local tribes and with financial services, the best customer service you could ask for.
And she's the proud recipient, and I was honored to give her the award at the gathering that's held every year in Tulsa this year again. And she was the recipient of the Southwest Chamber winning the appreciation award over the year. I don't remember the exact title of the award, but she's number one.
Southwest.
Okay. And I encourage everybody to register for the event. We're looking for sponsorships, and again, they have booths and tables you can participate in for a small investment. And that's my little commercial.
I'm
Bob?
Bob Moore. I represent Hillary Communications. They do high-speed internet and fiber across the state.
And I always have to do that. And your commercial lending background.
Oh, I do commercial financing.
And how long have you been doing that?
I've been doing commercial financing for over 40 years.
For over 40 years. That's outstanding. All right. Then we have Michael Arbor. And I want to thank Michael for also being a big sponsor supporter of the chamber for years. And originally one of the beginning founders of our chamber. And also I know like the Mixer in Oklahoma City, his company has helped sponsor himself, so forth. So I believe it's Oklahoma City, right?
John, thank you. Yeah, I was blessed to help open this chapter. I've been working with tribes for 20 years and our company is celebrating 20 years this month. Shameless plug, I will be sponsoring the Tulsa Chamber,
Okay.
which is Thursday, June 9th, guys. It'll be at the Tulsa Golf and Country Club. You should get notes on that, but it's from 6 to 8. We expect over 100 people there and come. There's hors d'oeuvres there. You have to pay for your own drinks, but we look forward to blending and mentioning folks. And for those of you that may not know, our membership as American Indian Chamber of Commerce members allows you to attend multiple sites. Sometimes I'll attend 3 or 4 chapters in a month from there and have been an active member since 2017. My company is called American Telecom and Technology. We work with tribes and businesses throughout the state for over 20 years. And we take products from AT&T, Dobson, Windstream, and help provide those and then work with those with the tribes to get them the lowest costs. We also provide business telephone systems. We also provide broadband, towers, wireless, and we also are now in the broadcasting business. So we all have native global availability to broadcast television shows, sporting events, and those type things as well.
Thank you. And just so everyone knows, when you go to the main ICOA website, you can click on events and the calendars, and you can see all the chamber upcoming calendar events and anyone you know that's looking to join. Again, even if you live in Oklahoma City, we welcome you to join our Southwest Chamber and come visit and be here with us. But you can join our chamber as we're really, with the opportunities here, we encourage you, go Southwest. So next, I'm going to skip our speaker and go to Clark.
Hello, everybody. I'm Clark Southard. I'm the president of Cotero Incorporated. I primarily do economic development projects and consulting. I am a proud member of the Comanche Nation. I work actually now in the economic development capacity with the Delaware Nation in their investments and industries, corporations. I guess that's about it for today. First meeting. I'm glad to be here.
We're glad to have you, and I want to follow up later for sure. So we're going to go to George in a moment, but he has 2 of his outstanding staff members, and I've had the honor of meeting with one of them and having a good lunch. And so if you could introduce yourself, and our meeting was very productive. Thank you.
Madaway, Nananietsa, Stephen Riley Mowat. I represent Namana Staffing. We're a Comanche Nation owned company. We're dedicated to the workforce expansion and to the economic expansion of Southwest Oklahoma. So if any of you guys are looking for any great candidates that you need for your companies, we will gladly supply them for you. It's my first meeting as well, and nice to meet everybody.
Nice to have you here. There you go.
My name is Edward Tahawal, the lead recruiter with Numina Staffing on our team. Came in here a little informal, but wanted to show my support for our CEO and just welcome everyone to this event. Appreciate all you guys tuning in via what is this, Zoom? And yes, I participated in the gathering last year. Very eventful. It was one of my first workshops I had been to with Numina Staffing. So I appreciate that opportunity and was able to meet and network quite a bit with a lot of Native American owned companies across the state of Oklahoma. So appreciate that, appreciate this Chamber of Commerce, and look forward to many more relationships.
Thank you. We're glad everyone's here. Is there anyone else on Zoom that I may have we've not been able to hear from you? If you could just unmute yourself and introduce. We're good? All right. So then with that, I'm gonna scoot back because I make a better door than window. And then I'm honored to introduce George. And if you can share more about your everything, but also he's a very well respected boxer. So I recognize that. So believe it or not, I was in a different shape in my youth and was very active in sports. So with that, the floor is yours. Talk loud.
I appreciate y'all, your time, everyone tuning in online, Comanches worldwide, I guess, and Shawnee and Carol Ann. I'm glad you're here, sister. My name's Comanche Boy George Tatanapper. I'm the CEO of Numina Staffing and Comanche Nation Construction, and I'm the acting CEO of Comanche Nation Enterprises. Numina Staffing is a subsidiary of Comanche Nation Enterprises, which is a Section 17 chartered company, which is wholly owned by the Comanche Nation. Numina Staffing, we started Numina Staffing at the end of 2020. A very, very low capital startup company. And we chose staffing because coming from our background with Comanche Nation Construction, that was our first company that we started under the enterprise umbrella back in 2008. And in 2009, Comanche Nation Construction got into the 8A program, graduated in 2018. But in doing the construction, we had to have a lot of capital. You had to have bonding capacity. So there was a lot of capital that had to be invested initially in the company. And just through experience through our tribe, our tribe didn't want to invest a whole lot of money. So we kind of ventured the different areas of the government sector, going after federal contracting is our primary target. And so we came up with staff, and we've met with multiple consultants, multiple companies, multiple partners. And it was, to be honest, Numina Staffing, we started with the low capital, 200,000. Initially, we jumped in the Hub Zone program, and then it wasn't until about 2 weeks ago we got accepted into the SBA 8A program. So that's been our whole objective, is to get into the 8A program and generate some money for the tribe. And that's what it's all about. We go into this business not just to generate money, but to bring it back to our people, bring it back to the Indian tribes. And a lot of people talk about it. Some people do it, but we want to do it. We want to do it. And the only way that we could do it is we talk the talk, which is always the fun part, but it's even better walking the walk. So we got a big task in front of us right now with generating revenue for Numina Staffing. A little bit of background about myself. I'm a retired professional boxer. I recently, I just got inducted into North American Indigenous Athletic Hall of Fame 2022. So, yeah, I'm honored and humbled to actually still be alive to say that, because a lot of people don't get to say that. I better knock on that wood. Yeah.
What class were you?
Well, when I boxed professionally, I was a middleweight and super middleweight champion. I held middleweight titles at the WBC Continental America middleweight champion. I was the NABA US middleweight champion. I was the Native American Boxing Council super middleweight champion, and I was the Oklahoma State super middleweight champion. So I've held a couple titles. I retired with my record was 34 wins and 3 losses. I did a span about 9 years where I was undefeated. And, it'd always be great to retire like Floyd Mayweather and get that kind of income, but it's not like that for everybody. So I had to pursue my career. I got my undergraduate from Cameron University. I got a bachelor's in business administration. And I've been working for my people since 2004. And in coming to work for my tribe, my dad wanted me to come back to my people. He wanted me to help our people out. And he said, number one, we have to get educated and we have to do something that's going to help improve. And that's why I got into business. And because we was poor Indian boys, we didn't have a whole lot. And, we always dream, sky's the limit. And I've been a dreamer to this day all my life, and I'll continue till the day I die. But, we want to shoot stars or shoot for the stars and, aim high and, achieve what they say can't be achievable. And that's kind of what we did with this number of staffing. We came into this company. It was a creation, and we had to have a lot of support from our leaders, our tribal leaders, and really it's our community, because Numina Staffing, we're employing not only our Comanche people, but other Native American people and Southwest Oklahoma. We want to bring, important, meaningful employment to our people in this community. And when we say meaningful, we go to these federal facilities where they have Bacon Davis wages, where you're making a little more than your local economy outside the federal military bases. So that's another aspect of the meaningful employment that Numina Staffing is bringing. And then it's again, it's to generate revenue for the Comanche Nation, and that's our whole objective. But yeah, that's kind of a little background of everything, how we got Numina Staffing going and with Comanche Nation Enterprises. And got any questions?
Well, first, I'd like to congratulate you on all of your boxing.
Oh, yeah.
And you stayed handsome through it all.
Yeah.
That just tells how good you were. Thanks. So I'm going to open it up to first anyone on Zoom. You can go at the bottom of Zoom and raise your hand, and then we can call on you that way. And if you're not sure how to do it, just unmute and ask your questions of George. Bueller, anyone?
This is Brian. I use Mac products. I'm a creative guy. So I don't have the hand raising thing. So I'm just going to speak up. George, thanks for being here and sharing today. I'm a member of the Kaw Nation, and we are, or have been for years, trying to set up a more formal economic development entity within the tribe. So I'm curious to know from your perspective, how did you start that process with CNE? Was it a separate board that's aside from your tribal leadership, or how does that formation work?
Well, in 2007, this was before my time. The leaders of that time, they created a Section 17 charter, and it was actually enacted in 2007. And they had at the top of our parent company, which is Comanche Nation Enterprises, was a 7-person managing members. So those 7 people is what is our managing members of the Comanche Nation Enterprise. I know I've heard of multiple tribes trying to, get Section 17 companies started or chartered companies. again, this was before my time, so I don't know the full details, you know, how they got it going. I came into this position in 2019. I became the CEO of Comanche Nation Construction, and it wasn't until 2021 I became the acting CEO of Comanche Nation Enterprises. So a lot of this is, to be honest, I'm learning, you know, a lot about this job and about the Section 17 of what you can and you cannot do. So it's been a work in progress, but, you know, we're trying to produce and we're trying to generate, you know, revenue most definitely.
Thank you. I have a follow-up question. So do you still have the board in place, and what is the makeup of that board?
Well, we've got a new board in place currently right now. So and then we've got some amendments that we're doing to our charter right now as well. So you know, so we do have a board. It's and you know, it's like anything else, you know, they walk into a storm, they walk into past administrations where they've got to, I don't want to say, you know, they've got to make the company grow better, you know, but there was a lot of stuff that wasn't done beforehand, and we got to make sure we're doing it today. You know, it's kind of experience, you know, living and learn from it.
And is that board made up of solely of members of the Comanche Nation, or do you have other outside, maybe non-members or non-Indian folks that are also bring some of their experience to bear as well?
Well, our charter says a majority is to be tribal members. Actually, our current board right now is all tribal members, but I know in the past we did have non-tribal members that were board members as well. So you know, we hold it open, you know, whatever we can bring to the table, and on our end, it's not a salary paid position as being a board member. It's almost a volunteer. So, you know, a lot of people don't want to, you know, if they're not getting a large enough stipend, it's maybe not as attractive. But ultimately, when you have people for the tribe, for the Comanche Nation, you know, we want to do it from the heart.
Thank you. I'm just trying to learn as much as I can as we're just entering into this process. So I appreciate your time.
Yes, sir.
Please follow up with me on that too.
Will do.
Okay. Anyone else on Zoom have questions? And then I'll ask for a live. Anyone on Zoom? Any more questions? Okay. Chad, I'm seeing your name up there. Did we hear from you earlier?
No, I came in just a little bit late there.
So please tell us briefly a little bit about yourself, and then I'll ask people here at the table.
Yes, so Chad Hart, I'm with the Oklahoma SBDC. I'm a tech and innovation advisor for the state. So I go around and help folks with any of their contracting needs or getting them in front of the primes or whatever is needed.
Okay, thank you.
Absolutely.
And I'd like to ask everybody if you would please put on Zoom, if you could put your contact information in the Zoom, then later people can save the notes at the bottom. And if not, later you can ask us and we'll get that to you. Just your name, email, phone number. All right. And we did Michael, but let's start at the table here. Does anybody have any questions for our honored speaker? George?
I've got a comment real quick.
Sure.
I've got George's bio. George and I met a few weeks ago and he gave me some time. He mentioned he has 34 wins, career wins. 24 of those are by knockout.
That's powerful. And you didn't even bring a belt to show it. Just kidding.
No, George and I have chatted in the past and we'll continue in the future. We've got some things that we're working on. So I'm looking forward to working with the Comanches on some business projects, some entrepreneurial things.
Me too. Anyone else? Questions? Delaware?
Good. John, we added one more guest.
Yes, I was just gonna, thank you. And our other guest?
Stacy Sullivan.
Stacy Sullivan.
Insurance Agency.
And what type of insurance?
a spectrum of all insurance, but we work a lot with tribal governments and their enterprises on property and casualty and employee benefits.
Beautiful.
Did you drive up from Ardmore?
I did.
What?
I'm still getting used to the area. Is that up? Is that down?
It's
Is
actually
that-
over
to that.
It's almost to the Red River.
Uh-huh,
Way
Okay,
down south.
exactly.
all right. So with that, I just, again, thank you, George. Is there any last thoughts you thought of you want to share?
Just I know they mentioned some questions about how the board was set up or how the section 17 got set up. Kind of one of our goals over at Comanche Nation Enterprises is where, tribes always talk about diversifying their portfolio and finding different avenues besides just gaming. And that's really probably the ultimate reason why I came into this position, because we do at my tribe is everything's in gaming, and we would like to diversify. And in doing that, we see other tribes that are succeeding. You see the Chickasaws and Cherokees, but one that really caught my attention the most was the Winnebago Ho Chunk Inc. And that's really me and my team. That's what we talk about. Is we say we want to be like Ho Chunk Inc. We want to make enough income where it's more than our gaming, and then ultimately, provide a dividend payment back to our people. So that's kind of our day in, day out objective. Why we're here at our position we're at is because we want to bring those returns back to our people, and in turn, it serves our community as well. But yeah, if you want to see anything on Numinous Staffing, we've got a social media presence at Facebook, Numinous Staffing, and we have our LinkedIn page, numinoustaffing.com, our website. We're right here in the heart of Comanche country in Lawton, Oklahoma. So you can look us up. We're pretty easy to find. Thank you.
Hey, John, could I drag out your meeting for a few minutes more with the question for George?
Yeah, and then, yes.
Sorry.
We're good on time.
We're on time? Okay, good.
No, we're good.
But
I wouldn't call it dragging it out. It's what we get together for.
But so George, we are a extremely small firm. At this point, my wife and I both have day jobs. So this is something we've been together. Our firm has been operational for a little over a year now. And our goal is to do work for the tribes primarily. And it's one of the things where we're kind of treating it like a fishing expedition to some extent. So this is something we do part-time. And so what we've been doing is answering RFQs and responding to all those, and just with the idea that over time, we'll be able to get our foot in the door, so to speak. And we're doing this for a specific reason, as opposed to quitting. I practice architecture during the day for another firm, and they know we do this. And my wife is a director at Hope Community Services, and we have a daughter. I've got two stepsons who are Native. My sons are not. I'm not. But this is all very important to me, and being a part of the of Native culture on a fundamental level, not just showing up every once in a while. We wanted to be a part of it, and so that's one of the reasons why we started this firm. And then also, I think about of ways we can give back, and we're not at that point yet, so to speak, because we're still trying to get our foot in the door. But the College of Architecture has, I think, 60 or so Native students enrolled at the University of Oklahoma in the College of Architecture. There's people we'd like to hire, things we'd like to do, causes we'd like to contribute to. But we're kind of, I don't want to say we're slow playing it, but we really are. We're doing this without any debt and without a bunch of funding. And at the same time, as part of the construction arm of your tribe, do you have any thoughts or recommendations that we could reach out to or be a part of at some level, even just yeah, I just, we're kind of just starting off as we know best.
Yeah, I know. And it's hard. It's hard when you're have a full-time job and you're doing it part-time. That's how my boxing career was. The boxing was my part-time job. I had a full-time job. But yes, I guess coming to events like this, it's a real good networking. You meet a lot of people that's well connected. Mr. Dobson, Mr. Harbour, and Mr. Moss, they're connected with everybody. And one thing about Indian country is, we're close knit. We spread the wealth. Nothing is selfish. We're we want everyone to succeed. So it's going to be the repetitions, getting your name out more. Letting people know. Now I know a Native American architect company, so this is stuff that we can move on in the future. So most definitely reach out to me, and
sure, love
to. Never know how our paths will cross, and they will, and how we could be assistants to each other, and ultimately help each other grow.
Absolutely, thank you, appreciate that.
Yes, sir.
Thanks for the words.
Thank you, Tom.
Tom, may I add?
Tom Burzak. Okay.
May I add that Bourbon Hamilton is a good person to contact to help you through RFQs and things of that nature.
Tell me the name again you mentioned, sir. Sorry.
Bourbon Hamilton. He's with the PTAC out of Norman, correct?
Yeah.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
Bourbon Hamilton. Okay.
Yeah. Bourbon Hamilton.
BERBON, Tom.
Okay.
And he's a great resource, and that's Raleigh Mowat. That's that was a really good call. Bourbon's helps us tremendously, and he's probably right around your way too as well. He'd be a good.
Appreciate that. We will. Thank you.
By the way, that's a free service to Native-owned businesses.
Okay.
Any other input? Someone before I go? Thank you for raising your hand. Chris Hodges.
Hey, it's me again.
Thanks for your sandwich.
George. Hey, George. I'm part of ACO. I'm part of ACO for two reasons. One is on a personal level. And obviously the other reason is I do work with a lot of tribes around the state. And one thing over at Dobson that we really try to focus on is finding ways to be a part of every tribe. And that could be with, there's tribes we do back to school programs for, with vaccinations or books or backpacks. There's powwows that we sponsor. And I've been looking for something with the Comanche tribe. So from that angle. So it's these startups that you do, or anything, if you ever do any kind of promotional events and you need extra funding or anything along those natures, please keep us in mind. We've yet to do anything with the Comanche tribe as a whole in regards to sponsoring or assisting, anything like that. So please keep us in mind if anything comes up where you guys can use some collateral or anything along those lines.
All right, Chris. I heard it. He said collateral, so I'm gonna hold you to that.
Well, there is another example, and I think we've had several people take us up on this, but I think about 3 or 4 months ago, I donated several Thunder tickets for a raffle for promotion there as well. So even events like that where you need something to draw attention, send people prizes, even inter office promotion, stuff like that. There's always something we can find to do to help promote.
Yes. Well, Chris, I appreciate that. That's usually you're looking for people for sponsorship, and to have someone offer is, tremendous. So heck yeah, we most definitely always could use a hand, and you know how it is, helping hands. Wherever we can get it, we're blessed, and
absolutely.
And thank you for that, because we most definitely will utilize it.
No boxing matches. Yep. So, Edith, I'm going to come to you in a second, but I wanted to share. Thank you, Chris. As an example, last year at one of the mixers, I won 4 tickets to Thunder, and I have a Native American veteran single mother with two beautiful children, and I donated them to them so they could attend, and those memories they're still very happy and thankful for. So that's one of the things I want to touch on after Edith goes, because I still need to talk a little bit about myself. Edith, go ahead.
Yes, George, thanks so much. You know, congratulations on the new certification. I know we talked a couple weeks ago, and I think you were in the midst of that. I really wanted to stress, I think you and the Comanche Nation are a great resource to kind of help someone who maybe is starting that path, because you know, it's been kind of a roundabout different ways to get to where you are now, changes in industry. And so, you know, I just really kind of wanted to shout out to people to reach out to you to help maybe give advice in maneuvering. It hasn't been super smooth, as it usually isn't when it comes to the federal contracting. But I do commend you all on that, because the payoff to do that is definitely worth it at the end when you get into the federal contracting as a tribe and the 8A and hub zone work, things like that. So I just wanted to kind of say you're a great resource.
Yes, thank you, Edith. And yes, it was hard. You know, I reached out to you because, you know, you're a great resource as well. And you've got years of experience that we look to you for some advice or just questions in general. Or sometimes I might just need to vent, you know, so you're a really good resource. But yes, we you know, for us, we know how it is to start a company up from creation. And that's one of the things that we're going through now is sales. You know, we need to expand sales, increase them and increase them heavy. So yes, anybody that wants to reach out to us, we're always open to share any type of ideas or insight or experience that we can offer, most definitely.
Okay, thank you. Edith, your hand's still up. I'm just respectfully asking, is there anything else you wanted to ask?
No, I probably just don't know how to take it down.
It's just the same way you put it up.
There. Okay, I got it.
But George has been doing so good. Maybe that was a high five. Hey, high five. All right. So has anyone come up with any other questions, or then?
John, I've got one.
Sure.
Clark Southern, I'm the new guy in the room kind of thing, but the gentleman who was talking about starting economic development activities in the Kaw Nation, I believe, is that correct? I helped start the Delaware program, the Delaware Nation Economic Development Authority, about 12 years ago, and we've gone from being in negative numbers to having last year developed over $100 million in contracts. That's not revenue at the end of the day, but that's real big money. And so we've come a long way, but it takes a long time. B, you have to make those steps slowly and surely. But I wanted to offer myself up as somebody he could call and talk to. So John, I'll work with you to get information on how.
My relatives there at Delaware, yes.
Okay,
absolutely.
And the big piece is, and I would always say this, and George hit on it, moving away from gaming as your source of revenue long-term is the smartest thing you can do. During the pandemic, as an example, the casinos in the Delaware Nation faltered quite heavily, and we were able to support them with revenue infusions through our non-gaming industries that kept them afloat, kept their staff at their tribal organizations employed during that time. So it's key and critical. And then I've got some personal perspectives that I don't normally share in a big room, but I'd love to talk to you later about it.
It's being recorded. Now
That's fine. And I've always lawyered up, so it's no big. Anyway, it's just that I'm glad to hear that that's a charge you want to do. And I guess a gentleman we hired as a subcontractor once, after we briefed him on what we do for a living, his remark was, it's truly obvious that what you're doing is a moral objective as opposed to a personal financial objective. Yeah, we're trying to help the Delaware Nation in this case in perpetuity with non-gaming revenue. not make money and drive big cars. So that's the key. That's it.
Thank you for adding that though, because that's key. So my name's John Moss, and I'm an enrolled member of the Caddo Indian Nation. I'm Irish, Welsh, and Caddo. My grandfather is Michael Martin, Chief Silvermoon. My aunt was LaRue Parker. My other aunt was Billy Hoff, who did the logo of the Caddo Indian Nation. And 3 weeks ago, with my background, I'll share, but I was voted into the Caddo Housing Board. And then at the meeting this week, then when I was being sworn in, they asked that I become the chairman of the housing board as well, again, with my background in banking and housing. So I encourage all of you to be in touch with me. My information has been on the post with the email and my phone number. I'm here in Lawton, Oklahoma. And George, I commend you for doing what many people talk about. But as we've all heard, some people talk the talk, but they don't walk the walk. So I went to USAO. I was a student senator. I got an award for being the most active student senator at the time that the university's ever had. I started the Sign Language Club, the Handicap Club, and expanded the Native American Club. And that's where I learned a lot about nonprofit networking, funding, so forth. So when I went back to California, which is where I'm originally from, and so there is really where I flourished in all my business acumen for over 30 years. I'm the only real estate mortgage trainer, guru, if you will, of the training circuits and et cetera, that I've trained over 100,000 people by now. And the book I wrote, over 30 years of proven business and economic and networking, is The Millionaire Loan Officer. And I'm the only one that all the top banking associations in the United States signed a letter of recommendation on ethics and non-predatory lending for the development of small businesses up. So as an example, networking in the business world before the nonprofit, Ale Caliente in California had an idea of building up casinos and economic development. Well, we brought in all the networks that helped build all that, including insurance, which who they had was not providing them the best benefits and savings for the nation. And we just did a simple analysis and they could compare apples to apples. I'm about informed decisions. So my name kept coming, and that's many other nations we've worked with, like Umatilla tribe. They have a beautiful call center, which I've been pushing for the Delaware when I've met with John Robinson and Kerry Holton and others way back when, and since then, the Caddos, et cetera, Comanche. The reality is Umatilla Nation in Pendleton, Oregon just got a $90 million contract. That means ongoing jobs, support for their rural community. And during this pandemic, they had people that could work remotely, et cetera. So my name kept coming up in the world development business world with tribes. And so I was approached through the U.S. Department of Commerce way back when Don Chapman was in there and working with Kay Bills, great lady, and et cetera, on economic business development. So when the mortgage debacle happened, they asked me to suggested my board of directors who I was already working with, seniors like Randy Edmonds, Beaver, or David Lester, Royce Samsel. They said, let us just help continue what you were doing. You just had to find new sponsors and support via nonprofit. So that's what we've been working toward. And we recently now have been at the United Nations several times. You can go to my website, and we actually presented a written People's Indigenous Plan, okay? And it's in writing, it's on my website. Everyone can look at it. But why is that important to us in this meeting? Because like leveraging, we're working with NCRC, and there's actually commercials on this where now and you can Google PNC Bank, NCRC, and they have a loan. That's one bank was set aside money for $88 billion, which is why I've been working to get in with all the tribes and everybody here. And what I encourage is, like a lot of us at this table and others have been doing, network and refer. Teresa Rural, R&T Cybersecurity, is also one of our sponsors, but beyond that, it's because we believe in her work. She went through one of my webinars and she's like, we got to get you up here in Alaska. She's up there. So I went up, and she's working all out here as well. She has teams all over. So I went up to Alaska and was hosted to just speak for 3 days at the Alaskan Native American Alaskan Corporations Association with Halle Bissett and et cetera. And it was phenomenal. And they're like, I've never heard of this PNC Bank. Well, then opportunity. The next day, everyone was approaching me because they're like, in my room, I saw it on the television. They're doing advertisements, and you can only get in if you're an underserved community and you're approved, vetted organization. That's us through our networks. So I encourage all of you, be in touch with me. Those are things we're working to do, but it is not our money. It is not our funds. But like any grant, we have to show what we can do through hub zones, opportunity zones, tribes, et cetera, to help build communities. So this relates to George and a lot of others, I'm sure. But I left California where my book was proven before they would sign off on it with the letters that I got, that people were making $1 million a year following my system, and they still are. And the thing is, I left that to come here to Lawton, Oklahoma as a nonprofit with my focus. And that's how I ended up being asked to become a volunteer president for the Southwest Chamber. I'm not making that money anymore yet, but with these projects, we will. But again, we all have to network and work together. And Bob has been outstanding in referring a lot of business our way, Michael, et cetera, and working and networking. And there's so much that we each can bring to the table, but we have to communicate it. So I just want to share, it's really important. The chat, save the chat. The people's information is there. Even if you briefly contact them, look at our My Cash Community Development website, see the prior meetings and see whose information is there. We all are in this together, our communities. And sadly, I'm just going to give an example. We had Jimmy John's, right? Well, right now, Jimmy John's has not been able to find a driver. So I had to go pick all this up before the meeting, which was a little bit why I was late. But sadly, you go through our community and there's so many people that need your help, which I shared with them, and for employment and et cetera, but we all have to be communicated, right? So I encourage everybody, even if people don't want to work, that's part of the training I do is why don't they want to work? Why do we need to inspire them, coach them, train them? What kind of thing are they willing to do? And then we can refer a network. So, and it starts, a lot of people are like, I'm so broke, I can't afford to pay attention. Well, again, our goal is financial literacy, economic development, and of course, housing. So anything and all that I can help anybody with, that's who we are, what we do. And again, I just bring up the United Nations and PNC Bank because that's only one bank. These are set asides that do not affect the US debt. It's all something that you may have heard Obama say and Biden 2 terms ago. Oh, we're going to sign this and get it to the underserved communities. They didn't. This time he's promised to do it, and we have to stay on them because there's so many things we all need. But whining and living in the past isn't going to help us. How do we move forward? What are the solutions? That's what I'm all about. So it's funny, my original business name when I was 18 was Gatto Solutions, because I was all about trying to find solutions, not just, oh, I do this, I do that. No, it's whatever your issues, I probably know some, it's networking. Okay. So with that, thank you everyone for joining us. Before we end in prayer, does anyone have any questions or things they've thought of they want to ask? Yes, sir.
Good afternoon, everybody. Again, I'm Michael Harbor. The Buy Indian Act, if you guys have not reviewed it, that was signed in March, is a home run for us, for all of us, because now there's partnerships that can be built, back to what Tom talked about, or everybody else within the economic, to blend and fold from there. And so we can now take advantage of that. This is a shameless promotion, so forgive me, but I have tribes, I work with tribes around the country in building broadband. They are now calling me because we can now partner and create a new tribal entity for broadband for them to resell and work in their part of the country. And so others of you around that have those type of businesses, we can now partner with tribes and those entities. I'm an 8th Cherokee, but my great grandmother never got on a roll. So I'm limited in that area, but I've worked with tribes for 20 years. So much like John's talking about, George is talking about, we look to help develop because there's grant money, there's technology and services. So look at other businesses that may be non-native that your tribe might be able to partner with, that you might see as far as a benefit in developing your economic vision for the tribe.
Thank you. And K-Bills is a good reference on that as well as myself, Michael. Again, we're all about helping each other. And at this table, that I know. The other is, as an example, some of you may know respectfully Beaver or David Lester, who may rest in peace along with Roy Samsel. But he was the founder originally of RES and worked in starting the Native American Indian Congress. And he is also who was heading up CERT, Certified Energy Resource Tribes, because when people were looking to put in solar panels, wind energy, et cetera, and technologies, our tribes are being taken advantage of. So they formed a co-op, and then they look at everything to see who is able to, with engineers and so forth, and then they could better support that. So Amanda, we're going to just close right now, but thank you though for joining. We'll see you later. Say hi to your wonderful team there.
Sure.
Talk to you later.
Thank you.
All right. So in closing, Bob Moore, would you give us a closing prayer?
Thank you, Heavenly Father, for opportunity for fellowship. We praise your name. We ask your blessing upon all that hear our voice. Go with us. Let us be a light to others. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Thank you for Creator keeping us to 1 o'clock. So we try and always have 12 to 1, now 5th Indian time. So we made it. And Randy, thank you again for your support of the technology. And thank you, everybody. Have a great day. Remember, save the chat.
Hey, Bob.
Yes, sir.
Hey, Bob.
Yes, sir.
It's Chris Hodges. Hey, are you going to the groundbreaking ceremony in Lawton in June?
Well, which one? Now, second week in June, I'm going to be in Arkansas.
I'm just kidding you. Dobson's doing we already have the network in town. We're putting 2 more networks in, and they're doing the groundbreaking in 2 weeks, I believe. On your office or your first customer? No, they're doing, I think it's for fiber to the home and the SMB network. Yeah. Okay. It's in like 2 or 3 weeks or something. But I'll probably be there. Everybody's nice seeing you.
Great seeing everybody. Please send me your
Thank you, John.
emails.
Thank you, everybody.
I represent PNC Bank.
So do you know about what I'm talking about?
No.
Well,
No, but that doesn't.
so everyone here, let's just exchange. phone.
And John, apologies for being tardy.
No.
I apologize.
Let's be safe. No,
I want to know
was-
how long you've been the president of Southwest Chamber.
Well, being a president and being active because of COVID,